Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our webinar on Legacy ERP. My name is Chris Gherardini, President and CEO of Turnkey Technologies. I'd like to thank you for joining us today. So today I'm going to share some topics, but first I just want to give you a quick who is Turnkey and why is Turnkey different. This is information that I craft with purpose. Again, we are a purposeful organization as we partner with customers to help them deliver better experiences to their employees, to their customers, to their vendors, and in the end, make more money. Leadership, I started this company in 1994, so I am a technical and functional guy, as I describe to people. Computer science engineering, ended up in public accounting. So I've been doing this for a long time, about 35 years. Turnkey is 27 years old now, and we're a very highly efficient group of people. Licensing management, implementation, integration services for the Dynamics portfolio. From an approach standpoint, we right-size and configure solutions for every business budget with an adaptable methodology. What that means is you're not too small or you're not too big. But we do apply our skills and our experiences to do that for you. Qualifications, we have a large team. I describe it as half accountants and half engineers. It's a great group of people, highly credentialed. Most are based out of the St. Charles office here in Missouri. From an authorization perspective, again, we've been affiliated with Microsoft a long time. Today we're a Tier 1 Microsoft CSP. We're a Gold Cloud Business Application Provider. And again, we're focused on the Dynamics portfolio. It's 95% of our business. We have customers that are using the legacy products, Dynamics GP, Dynamics AX, NAV, SL, CRM, and we work to help those customers either stay on their current solutions until it makes sense to upgrade, and then drive a vision as to where that upgrade path will lead you. And we represent the cloud solutions as well, including Office 365. Professional services, we're end-to-end. We work hard on the front end to analyze, to understand, to learn, to define requirements. We like to work with statements of work, which means we like to articulate project plans and work breakdown structures, really good transparency into the work and the effort that goes into a project. So that said, full service implementations, we'll do migrations, we'll do upgrades, we'll do maintenance, again, all dynamic centric. Really cool stuff. My guys do development, they're building service bots. We've done some government contractor application development to get compliance in there. A lot of neat stuff. We run a training center. A lot of licensing management. From an industry-focused core experience, again, we do a lot of manufacturing, discrete process secured, medical devices, electronics, chemicals, packaging, food, ag, a lot of neat stuff. Ag is neat, animal production, feed, and then a lot of professional services, going deep into government contractor, aerospace, some real unique characteristics there. That said, we still deal with a lot of companies that are financial services, field service and repair, and there's a lot of other industries that we've serviced over the past 27 years. So on to the concept of legacy, the need for unified business management. Again, some interesting statistics here as you look at the challenges organizations have by still being on legacy platforms. And it's the old, is it too much, but I'm losing money. But again, if you look at the data here, and your business are growing, but sometimes you just can't keep up. And this disconnected systems, if you look statistically, 50% of organizations, and this is Microsoft data, reporting limitations. Again, most people would say that I have trouble getting data out of my system. So 50%. And what that means is maybe you're getting data out, maybe you're keying it into a spreadsheet, but you're doing a rinse and repeat, and you go through that manual effort every time you want to compose a report. And as soon as somebody does something, all that data is changed and needs to be updated. So very inefficient, but that is a big, big hurt. And the 50%, outdated legacy systems. Again, old software needs old hardware. That's a problem because old hardware eventually breaks, and we'll talk more about that. My outline is you think about the cost and risks of staying on legacy business solutions, and total cost of ownership is I'm a business owner for many, many years, and we always think about how do we manage cost, and sometimes you have to invest to get a reduction in cost. We'll talk about that. Support is always one of those situations. What if something happens? Who do I call? Legacy code, unsupported language, and maybe a lot of you remember Y2K and the COBOL evolution. Lost productivity. Again, there is just a lack of efficiency. We'll talk through that. Security, lack of extensibility, ability to expand the solution, even platform. We talked about old software needs old hardware. Integration challenged. Again, compliance, maybe industry validation. And like I say, missing out on all the cool stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. To think about total cost of ownership, you think professional service fees from increasingly scarce resources. Okay. So you can still buy support, you can still buy services if you can find somebody. But the problem is just that, finding people. There are a lot of people who moved on to the newer technologies. I look at infrastructure, I look at servers, storage, backup solutions, server licensing, and again, this premise is if we can get it. But there's a cost to all of that. And, in the modern world, we're cloud-based. I'm cloud-based as an owner. I've moved my stuff out of my building, and I like the model. I like the subscription. I like that I don't have to pay all those costs. And I think the problem is a lot of people don't do their math right, and I say that because I have a math and a comp sci degree, and people don't do their math right. When you compute total cost of ownership, they are not adding everything up. Even IT staff to administer servers. Imagine the world where you don't have any servers in your building. You're like, how can that be? Okay, what do you do? Print. Okay, email, cloud, applications, cloud, CRM, cloud. Okay, what do you need to have in your building? You don't need to have a mail server. You don't need to have your accounting software there. But and the IT staff, again, having an IT guy. If you're a big company, maybe you need that for desktop support, but even that desktop support can be bought as a subscription model. So there's a lot of changes in mindset about, is it expense, is it capital, software maintenance and updates if available. Okay, so but total cost of ownership, do the math right, and there's a lot of costs that roll up into maintaining on-premise legacy systems here. Support, again, I know this audience, legacy Dynamics products. Again, mainstream support, that's an interesting topic. It's when does the vendor say, we can't support you any longer, which means if something does happen, there's no one to call. That's like 911, I'm sorry, we're closed, you can't dial the phone. My organization, we still support these legacy products, but we normally have a premise that we're trying to move you to a supported platform. Companies that are running payroll on some of these applications are more complicated because the rules are changing and they need to update the software, and guess what? It's old software, it's not updated, it's not supported, et cetera, et cetera. No new security updates, non-security updates. Again, this legacy technology is not getting an investment share from most of the vendors. Microsoft for sure. On SL, they think it's dead. GP, they still work customers with GP even though there's a thriving community. But that is the case, and they're continuing to announce, drops and discontinuations of services. So no free or paid assisted support or online technical updates. You're going to see a lot of those resources are disappearing too. They scrape them off their site. Extended support may be available. We went through an exercise with a AX customer recently to find out that the support for a specific version is going to be gone by 2023, and it's going to cost them $100,000 a year to get support for their installation. And if they wait too long, then they won't, and they have problems trying to get off of that particular version, they won't be able to get any help. So really risky, and there can be some real surprises there on cost if something comes up. And I think risk mitigation is what part of the theme is here. Extended support, again, that's a very expensive option too. We talk about legacy code. And I think that if you look at customized, non-customized organizations, and that normally is where they've customized, and a lot of times what we're seeing is, in the case of a Dynamics SL, for example, it doesn't have manufacturing, which means that the business is doing manufacturing. We know that it's either been added or it's been built in maybe an Access database. But because of the deficiencies of some of these products that were vintage in the late 80s and early 90s, 25 years ago, there were features missing. People customized those. And again, now we get into that case where customized code and so forth. So, and that even makes it difficult to upgrade and maintain. So again, frameworks, code bases, support for integration, support for add-ons, support for extensions. Again, you lose your options. It's like the doors are all closed. Break fix, again, we have limited resources there as well. And a lot of these developers that were doing this stuff 25, 30 years ago, they're retired, so they're gone. They're just not there. A little highlight here, legacy systems in the news. I think it's very interesting. This is a COBOL reference, but if you remember Y2K, a lot of the problems was COBOL. So we'll pass out this presentation, so you're welcome to take these links and read a little deeper into this article here. Productivity loss. Again, it's very interesting to think about productivity because you're using an old system. Okay, well, improved functionality and workflow is a great example where you're doing without new features and capabilities. We mentioned reporting and just the lack of efficiency in pulling data and generating reports. Well, that's a productivity loss. We added up all the time we spend aggregating data. Perfect example. We look at workflow. What's the absence of workflow? My ha-ha is people do workflow. They're just emailing documents that are disconnected, or they get up and put a piece of paper in somebody's inbox. That's workflow. It's primitive workflow. It's inefficient workflow. New modern systems move documents and workflow electronically. They're exception-based, they're efficient, they're automated, and they work no matter where you're at. So again, we mentioned spreadsheet capabilities, some of the new technology. We can export and import using Excel. It's very, very easy stuff. Integrity of data, manual processes. Again, we want more efficiency, more automation. So, and again, even this rolled-up reporting and some of the capabilities, it just doesn't exist in some of the old legacy products. Financial reporting, when you have multiple entities, consolidations, I can go on and on just about the lack of capability and how people struggle manually to do these things. And all I have to do is say, use Excel spreadsheets, everybody raises their hand. And so then again, to use a connected world, more efficient world, again, we're going to improve productivity. Security is an interesting conversation, and you think about legacy ERP systems and single sign-on. You don't see a lot of single sign-on. You may see products that'll bolt on that give you single sign-on, but to have the integration of your ERP system integrated with, for example, a Windows Active Directory or even a cloud-based Azure Active Directory is wonderful, because everybody authenticates using the same rules. We have the ability to use two-factor authentication. That's where you get a text message, so we can really, really tighten things up. Legacy systems really don't afford us that. Even the backside, people can come in here and do different things directly into the databases and so forth. We know that there's some challenges there. On-premise installations don't live in the well-fortified and proven cloud. And the cloud shields us from malware and virus attacks. I love being in the cloud because I feel more protected, whereas if you're on-premise, I hear horror stories of customers who've been hacked and lost their systems, and you can't spend enough money on an on-premise system or legacy system to match what we're seeing in modern cloud. And again, antiquated code base, it all lends into that, and to upgrade and augment these systems, it's just not happening. Again, age of the system, I had a scenario where a customer got hacked. It was an old system. Okay, what happens? They've got to come up with hardware. They got to find old hardware to put the old system back on and get it going. They used a tape backup. It took them 4 weeks to restore from a tape. So again, old tech causes security, causes risks, and we can quantify those financially. If you're a public company, you'd have opinions coming down that you'd have to do something. If you were audited and so forth, you get the accountants making commentaries too about the risks related to your system and audit reports. No cloud architecture. So again, we just want to talk about that people, you can move your system to the cloud, but on-prem, in a data center, it's the same application. You're just moving the management of that application. You're really not improving the capability of that. Well, we could talk about that in cloud architecture. Talent pool, like I said, we talked about that. It's diminishing rapidly. Compliance is an interesting one, too, as you look at the legacy limitations. And just, again, what are my requirements as a business to meet compliance? Could be government contractor, could be HIPAA, could be a number of different things. It could be, as I said, something that was flagged by an audit because of risk, because of this. And again, the legacy systems don't always provide a mechanism for the data scrutiny needed to fulfill contract language. Separation of duties is another one of these things as you look at, legacy systems. People can go end-to-end on that, and it just didn't have the controls. And again, back to a Windows integrated cloud Active Directory and having security that really lets you know who's doing what they can do, pessimistic type of security models. And they enforce compliance, and then you get confidence out of people based on having compliance systems. They want to do business with you. ERP migrations, okay? So there's a lot of things going on here. This is another little news bit that talks about, how companies are getting off of legacy systems and driving their performance and driving their uptime and driving their security. And in the end, they're more competitive. If we look at what's happening in our world today with this coronavirus, there are companies that were prepared from an IT standpoint. There are companies that were not prepared. So just take that for what it's worth. And we certainly want to talk to you more about those options there. See what else we have. So now as I transition from just the gloom and doom about legacy systems, we talk about the opportunities, and this is really the cool stuff that I mentioned. And there's two products that we really, as we look at targeting, the Dynamics 365 Business Central. It's a great solution. This product was Navision. Navision was acquired by Microsoft with Dynamics AX back in 2002 out of the European market for $1.3 billion. Great solution. There's about 170,000 businesses using Navision on-premise globally, and that is the product that was moved into the Microsoft Cloud. So this example, or this illustration here, is now the Microsoft Business Central stack, as I call it, the cloud stack. And as you see this, and you look at what they've done here, is they've taken Navision on-premise and they've made it a multi-tenant, all-cloud, SaaS, subscription, software as a service type of architecture. But what they've done as part of this migration is they interwove this application. And you may not know that in the cloud there's a common data model. Well, they put Business Central in the common data model. You're like, oh, well, what else lives in there? Office and CRM, which is 365 customer engagement. So what you end up with in that cloud, and then, of course, what else is in that cloud? Power Pack, which is Power BI, Power Apps, Power Flow, Cortana. Everybody know what Cortana is? That is Microsoft's artificial intelligence brain. Okay, so here you have this cloud stack where you've got your ERP system, you've got Office, you've got customer engagement, and you've got artificial intelligence and reporting. They all talk to each other. okay? So very cool stuff, and if you haven't seen any of this, it's amazing. You know, you can get an email from a customer, and it recognizes it, and it can create a sales order in your system automatically from an email interaction because Cortana's reading your stuff, okay? Reading your emails, knows what to do, helping you do work. That's cool stuff. Power BI, again, all plugged in everywhere. So this is a great offer, great stack. Total cost of ownership. Down the road, there's no maintenance. Once you're on this platform, you'll never do an upgrade again. Microsoft continues to update this application and all of the cloud applications on a quarterly and every 6-month basis. So a lot of capability, a lot of functionality showing up. When we talk about the cool stuff, this is absolutely the cool stuff. Where you could build Power Apps, hang it off the application. You can use this application on your telephone. You can use it anywhere. I use this example, quote to cash with an Outlook. That's it. That's a slick process. Not a lot of ERP systems that do that without you investing a lot of your own money. Okay, and again, this is Microsoft, which means nobody else is going to be doing this. Very slick stuff. Deeper insights, I mentioned Power BI. This stuff is plugged in. It is cool stuff. If you're trying to run a business, to look in the rearview mirror and make decisions with 60-year-old data is inefficient, and it's old school. And again, it's costing you money. They have real-time data, and that's what you get with these applications, is real-time visibility into the things that are driving business, and you can make decisions based on that. Compelling offer. Work anywhere. Okay, here we go. Cloud app. I can use a phone. I can use an iPad, an Android. I can use a desktop. Anytime, anywhere. That's really the premise here, and it's pretty slick. I run one of my companies in this application, and I love it. So all good. So on the other side, and just to finish this one, Business Central core capabilities, it's what you'd expect: financials, distribution, procurement, inventory, project, manufacturing. Okay, so there's a lot going on in this particular solution. And this is a nice little grid where if you are coming off of a Dynamics legacy product, Microsoft's giving this stuff away. Even at retail price, this is a very cheap solution is what I tell people. But with a 40% discount, it's really attractive. And again, so total cost of ownership, I believe they're doing this Dynamics promos. You get a 3-year SKU. You get 10 users, but like I said, it's a very cheap application, so more to talk about. Transitioning the other side of Dynamics 365 is finance and operations. So I mentioned Microsoft bought AX and NAV. AX became Dynamics 365 for finance and supply chain. This is the hero product. I don't have a lot of the small GP or SL customers move to this. However, customers that are doing manufacturing and they're using SL and they have, whether it's process or discrete, they may fit better. Warehouse management's built in here. So again, as I say, the hero product, everything's in this one. Microsoft's buying IP, they're adding. I run 3 of my companies on this particular product. We particularly like project accounting because we can have a 9-level work breakdown structure, manage resources, soft book, hard book, really drive accountability internally as well as to the clients. But again, if you're a manufacturer, supports process, discrete, all the warehousing, all the mobility is baked into this thing. It's pretty slick. Like I said, and Microsoft is spending a small portion on this particular product. But again, this is in the Azure cloud, and it's a big application. Let's just put it that way. Very slick. Capability, as you can see, they split this into both finance and supply chain. You license it in that manner. You can license this thing and just get finance users. If you have supply chain, you can see all the capability that's loaded over there. Again, there's a 20-user minimum on this solution, but great application, shows very well. And it runs away. So Business Central compared to this, they're 2 worlds apart. This particular solution is about twice the price. Rough math. Services, you certainly could implement more. This is just a snapshot look at there's a workspace. That's the concept in finance and operations. Again, it's all cloud, it's any device, anywhere, but we have different ways to organize and present information for our people to be on task. Again, pessimistic system. Workflow. This is an intelligent system about routing and moving work. It really has a different mind to it, and as you learn it, the efficiency is just on a scale. And that's why companies are drawn to this product because of the capability. And if you look at the capability and features, there's more and there's more and there's more. People will come back and implement travel and expense. They don't have to use an external product like Concur or something like that. Fully integrated. Power BI everywhere. This is the CFO overview. I love it. All the tabs around the bottom. This is all real-time drill down, all the way down to the nitty-gritty subledger data. You see on the right, you got the Power BI filters here, so you can slice and dice. This thing looks across entities. I mean, really very powerful system from that perspective. Licensing grid, very complicated here. Essentially, you buy a base license from Microsoft, and once you have a base license, you can add attached license. Supply chain. Maybe you want retail. Maybe you want talent. Maybe you want sales. Maybe you want service. So again, nice model. Again, coming off of a legacy product, you get a discounted SKU as well. So that's really my wrap-up. I appreciate everybody's time today, and I hope this has been helpful. We'd love the opportunity to take you on a deeper journey, looking at a replacement for a legacy solution, or even just doing some upfront requirements, conversations, and talking about one-on-one. So I'm available. Let us know. Thank you very much.